So for the next few lessons, we're going to talk about all the things that apply to working with a long document. So by long document, I mean a multi-page document that has defined sections or pieces to it that could be marked as titles and subtitles and so on and so forth, that you would need to probably give a reader some direction to the file. So things like adding a table of contents, adding an index to the end so they can quickly hop to a certain part of the document, being able to add footnotes and endnotes. And if you had a lot of tables or figures within the document, being able to add captions and add a table of figures to the document as well, so people can get quickly to those figures. So that's really what we're going to spend the next few lessons working on. And I think really the number one thing that most people need to do in a long document is add a table of contents. So that's where we're going to start. And I'm going to begin using a document that we've seen before, this one here that talks about African tribal masks. It's a great example of a kind of document that might need this work done to it. So in looking at it, you can see that I have some text that's designed for a title or a first level heading. And then as I move down, we have some second level text here. Again, some second level text. So under craftsmanship, this might be considered a third level bit of text, so on and so forth. Okay? So the way that the table of contents works is it's designed to work in conjunction with your paragraph styles, specifically with the heading paragraph styles. So if the paragraph styles are new to you, you might want to circle back and take a look at the intermediate class where we learned how to use headings or paragraph styles and how to modify them and customize them for ourselves. We'll take a little bit of a review of that here though. So this is really my first level entry. So I'm going to go ahead and mark that as heading 1. I'm going to scroll down, and for this subheading, I really need heading 2, but if you notice, heading 2 isn't visible here. We learned in the intermediate class that in order for that to pop up automatically, I actually have to come to this dialog box launcher to bring up the styles pane. And then if I click options down in the corner, I'll bring up a little style pane options box that allows me to show the next heading when the previous level is used. So you want to turn that on for yourself. It's going to make life a lot easier. I'm going to click OK. And then I'm going to close this because I actually don't need to see this anymore. You can leave this open though. Remember, you definitely can leave this open. And now I have heading 2 right here. Notice as soon as I applied heading 2, heading 3 popped up. That's what we want to see. So I'm going to scroll through and just do a few little markings here. I'm going to mark this as a heading 2. And we said that these would be third level, so I'll add that quickly. So I'll add another third level here. And third level here. And another third level. That's good enough for now. Okay. So what I want to do right now is just call to your attention the fact that you do not have to live with the physical appearance of these heading styles. By default, they show up in this particular format because that's how the styles are defined, but you can customize that and change that to suit your own needs. Okay, and the way that we do that, again, we learned that in the intermediate class, but I'll just show you the quickest and easiest way, just as a reminder. I'm going to do it for my heading 2 choices. What I'm going to do is I'm going to select an existing bit of text using the heading 2 style. I'm then going to go to the Home tab on the ribbon, and I'm going to change physically the way I want this text to look. Okay, so however that you might want it to look. Maybe what I might want is a paragraph line drawn underneath the entire paragraph. Maybe I might want to change the color of the text. Let's see here, we'll make it red. Okay, and maybe we'll make it a little bit bigger. Once you've redefined the way you want this bit of text to look, we're now going to instruct Word to make that permanent for heading 2. And the way we're going to do that is by coming up to the Styles box, right mouse clicking on the heading 2 example, and choosing the command Update Heading 2 to match selection. And that's it. That's all you have to do. If I scroll through, you can see it's automatically updated everybody else in the document who is using heading 2 and heading 2 only. If I come down, you can see heading 3 still looks the way it did. So if you wanted to change all of them, you just have to go through and do it for each of them. Then if I had to apply heading 2 somewhere else in the document, it would come out looking like this new style. Okay, great. So that's how we're going to mark our entries to our table of contents. We're going to use these heading styles. Now that I have some in the document, I'm actually ready to begin to build the table of contents. So I'm going to put it above the title. You can actually put it wherever you want. You can have your table of contents at the end if you want. So you simply position your insertion point where you want the table of contents to appear. And then you're going to go to the References tab. This is where you're going to find all of those things I just mentioned that are part of working with long documents. Table of contents is right at the beginning. If I click on the drop-down arrow, I'm going to see some built-in examples. Okay, so I've got 2 examples here. Manual, you want to just be a little careful with. Manual is what you can use if you did not use the heading styles and you're physically yourself going to type in each bit of text for the table of contents. It basically gives you the structure already. So you'll have all of the first level, the second level indents, you'll have the page numbers there that'll automatically be reflected. And then you can update those as you need. But that's a manual strong arm, have to type it in yourself. Okay, I'm just going to choose one of these. I'll choose Table 2. And you can see what it did. It automatically went through the document. It located each of my levels, my first, second, and third level, and it also noted the page numbers. Pretty great. So what if something changes? Let's talk about that for a second. So I'm going to scroll through here. Oh, and this is a great example. See how I've stranded the header from the rest of the body of the text that relates to this piece of the document? I'm going to put in a hard page break here. I'm just going to use Control-Enter, which is the keyboard shortcut to insert a page break. And now my table of contents is off because it says that the magic should be on page 1, but now it's on page 2. To update a table of contents, it's really simple. You're simply going to right mouse click on the table of contents and you're going to choose Update Field. Okay? Now, if I had added other entries to the table of contents, so maybe I added some more heading styles further down in the document, I'd have to update the entire table. But in my case, the only change I made was to alter the page numbers. So I'm going to go ahead and choose Update Page Numbers Only, and you can see it automatically corrected it for me. Great. So it's extremely simple, as you can see, to update your table of contents.